This is my presentation on climate change and the denial of it. So, as I said before, this is about climate change and the denial of it, and it's by me, Clarence Jenkins. So, intro. Climate change was first discovered in the early 1800s by Joseph Fourier. Climate change has become mainstream in the past few decades and is becoming more prevalent because we are starting to see the side effects of this phenomenon. Environmental issues. Climate change has brought about issues that are affecting us today. Things like elevated ocean temperatures, increased precipitation, and extreme droughts are all signs pointed to global warming and the changing of our climate. Sociological issues. Climate change is huge due to how it is conceived. Some people feel that it is extremely important and we should be taking steps to combat it. Others feel that basically it does not exist, mainly due to the lack of knowledge of the situation. So, a lot of people tend to push the problem off because they don't know much about it. So it's sort of like how we are with aliens. Like a lot of people deny aliens because we don't know much about it. But I'm sure if we saw a UFO, we'll acknowledge its existence. So the numbers. This graph is from a peer-reviewed article. It's called "Implications for Responding to Climate Change," and it depicts how Americans feel about climate change and the seriousness of the subject. So the first bar shows the alarm. So this shows the average amount of people that are alarmed to the subject of global warming and climate change. And then it goes on to people that are concerned, cautious, disengaged, doubtful, and then overall dismissive. This graph is actually from my NEP survey results, and it reflects what people think are the reasons people deny climate change. So, a big part of it, 57.1%, is people having a lack of knowledge about the issue, which is very interesting as well. And then 28.6% it shows that people feel that global warming will not directly affect them, which in hindsight puts it pretty much on the back burner. It's not a main issue for a lot of people. Interesting fact. So, according to the journal State of Denial, the United States has 4% of the world's population, but it emits a quarter of the world's CO2 levels. I just find that amazing seeing that, almost 7 billion people in the world, we only have 4% of that 7 billion, but yet we emit 25% of the entire world's CO2 levels. The second one was in the article World Citizenship and Concern for Global Warming. 23% of Democrats and 35% of Republicans said global warming was exaggerated. And this amount was taken in 1998. Fast forward to 2012, 20% of Democrats and 67% of Republicans said the same thing. So the Democrats, the denial of it kind of went down, but the Republicans, it just skyrocketed, it almost doubled. So, linking concepts to this, in our course textbook, Environmental Sociology, a concept of post materialism is mentioned. So, post materialism is defined as emphasizing self expression and quality of life over economic and physical security. So, I found this quite interesting because, the U.S. are huge importers and we usually get what we want, when we want it compared to other countries. So, the U.S. fits this concept because at the expense of our environment and health, we will drive the biggest cars, use the most energy, and require our desires when we want it. So we are huge on imports and we emit 25% of the total world CO2 levels, but we only consist of 4% of the world population. We allow our wants to trump, no pun intended, the health of our environment, health, and well being. So as long as we can get what we want, we can, eat what we want, use tons of electricity, put out tons of waste. As long as we are able to get that stuff, the environment and the issues that stuff brings really doesn't matter. So this is pretty much my presentation, and hope you enjoyed it.